Today I'm going to do another video request sent to me quite a long time ago actually by the number 3, and it's on Alex Jones. Yeah, I know, we're venturing into the extreme stupid now. As you know, I get a lot of video requests, and I can't possibly do them all. I wish I could, but it's just impossible. So in the next few videos, I'm going to release a video on some rules for video requests, just to, filter some out. Stay tuned for that. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
A lady called at the end of the last hour saying, for those that just joined us, she said, Alex, you're friends with Jesse Ventura. You're consulting on his TV show. He's a guest on your show. He believes in evolution.
Another evolution video, Professor Stick? We're getting tired of it. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
I don't believe in evolution, the way it's billed and sold. And I don't believe in the 100-year version of creationism.
100-year creationism. Because there are creationists that believe the universe is a few hundred years old, right?
I am a Christian, but this is not a religious broadcast. I believe in science.
I don't think you do, but let's hear what you have to say.
And there has been more fraud from the evolution camp. Remember the famous Piltdown man, the jaw of a pig, found in the U.S., and they knowingly lied for 40-something years, saying it was the missing link?
We were able to prove that the Piltdown man was a hoax because of our knowledge of evolution. Because we knew so much about it, we were able to look at the Piltdown man and realize it didn't fit in our evolutionary tree. We had other fossils and other evidence that suggested a specific path of evolution that led to humans. The Piltdown man simply didn't fit, therefore we discarded it. Creationists love using the Piltdown man as an argument against evolution, which just simply ends up demonstrating their ignorance.
And there have been literally hundreds of frauds, more than that.
Hundreds? I dare you to name 5.
And now top genetic engineers all over the world, there's famous cases of this, have stopped being atheists because they say, look, we've looked at the DNA, we've looked at supposed evolution, something else is happening here. Species just appear instantly.
Name 5 of those scientists. I'm so tired of creationists doing this. Oh my god, there are so many scientists that don't believe in evolution. Well, no, the vast majority of scientists accept evolution as true and accurate. And it's so hypocritical if you even mention scientists as opponents of evolution. It comes as a bundle. You can't cherry pick the scientists you want to listen to. If you're going to talk about scientists not believing in evolution, you better fucking acknowledge the vast majority of them that do.
150 years ago, when Darwin was a big rock star and his theory, evolution of the species, was first put out, and he was a eugenicist.
What the fuck? You know that his theory wasn't accepted initially? It took years before we started taking him seriously. Where the fuck are you getting your information?
He was really the father of eugenics. They believed that the royals were a greater bloodline. They believed the general public were scum. They believed in social Darwinism, saying, so what if people die in factories? So what if the elite kill the poor? The poor are scum because they genetically didn't get rich and powerful. Therefore, they believe everything is evolutionary, so you deserve to be poor. You deserve to be a slave.
Seriously, guys? Are you literally trying to kill me with these video requests? Now we have a conspiracy theorist claiming that Darwin was the king of eugenics? It can't get crazier than this, right? Like, why would anyone even subscribe to this guy unless they actually believe in this shit?
It's just another religion, and they admit that, and the UN now says they're creating a global religion. They've been planning it for 30 years around Gaia worship, around teaching humans that they're bad, so they'll give up their rights and their property to the globalist. Has nothing to do with the environment.
Let's skip to the non-conspiracy shit, shall we?
It has become a false debate. I'm not going to have Baptist preachers telling me their own interpretation of how the world was created.
That's good. Please don't swallow up their bullshit.
And I'm certainly not going to listen to the globalist and their whole evolutionary system. See,
globalist? We're called globalists now? Not evolutionists? Not Darwinists? Well, that's a new one. I've never heard that one before. But that's so stupid. Just because we accept science and we embrace the scientific method doesn't mean we're globalists. That's like on a completely different topic.
I don't let people put me in a box. I look at the facts, I look at history, I look at the evidence.
Okay, if you really looked at the evidence, you wouldn't be spewing so much shit right now. It's so funny, there's so much evidence for evolution. How do people not see it? DNA, proteins, fossils, endogenous retroviruses, the list goes on. The only reason people like you deny evolution is because you either had a presupposition on what you're looking for or you've been brainwashed by creationist propaganda. So which is it for you, Jones?
And obviously, you're not going to have the Sahara Desert, as the old cliche goes, put together a fine Swiss watch. The sands aren't going to fly together to make that.
Oh my god, can you please pick up one biology textbook, please? This is a faulty analogy. First of all, why didn't you just stick to the stupid tornado in a junkyard creating a car? At least in a junkyard, it had the materials for a car. Okay, look, we're not claiming that it's through some random event that created life. Abiogenesis is directed by natural forces. We can map out the exact chemical reactions. For example, here are the reactions that created amino acids. Water, ammonia, and methane along with some energy are able to undergo the 4 symbol step reactions at the top. This is then completed by the 2-step Strecker synthesis at the bottom. It involves obtaining protons in solution, 2 nucleophilic attacks by H2O, and 2 proton transfers, which ultimately produces an amino acid depending on the R group involved. In this equation, it is glycine at the end there. Now, this isn't the only reaction that can take place. We were able to naturally create many other essential compounds of life. This doesn't necessarily prove that that's exactly what happened in early Earth, however. It's more of a proof of concept that these things can happen naturally in certain conditions on its own. Doesn't really sound like a tornado in a junkyard anymore now, does it?
A human cell is 1,000,000 times or more, according to the scientist I've read, complex than a fine Swiss watch.
I doubt any scientist said that. How are you even measuring complexity here? And also 1,000,000 times more complex? Get the fuck out of here.
And they've tried in laboratories to make with simple building blocks of life, with simple amino acids. They've tried to make life. They can't do it.
Sure, we haven't created artificial life yet, but that's because there's still a lot we don't know. We have, however, been successful in creating a lot of essential compounds. We figured out how we can naturally make nucleotides, alcohols, aldehydes, organic acids, nitrites, etc., etc. Half of those you probably don't even recognize, right, Alex? The thing is, we're not just pulling these out of thin air. We even have hypothetical maps that map out the origin of life, how it came from an RNA world, and even the origin of viruses. Just because you're too ignorant to look at our work doesn't make it false. And now we're approaching the 728 mark, which is supposed to be interesting. I can't wait.
And there is just unbelievable design. And now with the electron microscopes, they're finding what can only be called microplasms.
Which isn't a thing.
Smaller bacteria, smaller viruses living in the viruses, in the bacteria.
Nope, you're not going to find that, especially not viruses instead of oh my god, what the fuck am I watching?
They zoom in more, they find little creatures living inside those creatures. They zoom in more, they find creatures living inside those creatures. They zoom even more, they find creatures living inside those creatures. They zoom in even more, inside the cell. You zoom into a cell and you find other creatures living there. You zoom in further, you find more creatures. They have bacterium that can live in radiation. They have bacterium that can live in total zero.
No, they don't. Even if these organisms you mentioned are real, nothing can live in absolute zero.
What is it? 270 something below zero Celsius, absolute zero. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We are living on a planet, a gorgeous planet, hurtling through space, orbiting a sun.
Good to know you're not a flat earther.
We have no idea what's really going on. It's so big. It's so amazing. But instead, people only care about their fantasy football instead of trying to learn the mysteries and secrets of the universe.
Actually, we are learning about the secrets to the universe. That's where scientists come in, but you're too fucking stupid to acknowledge the works of these scientists. There are people who dedicate their whole career to finding out about the universe. Do these people just not exist to you?
And I'll tell you where you start finding out those secrets. It's in the ancient text, like the Bible.
Ancient text? So that includes the Quran then? And all the other ancient texts that exist in the world? Oh, but the Bible, that's the one, right? All the other ancient texts are wrong. Psh, silly me. But for real though, the only real approach to find truth to the universe is by the scientific method. It's the only source that can produce models of high predictive capabilities. But Alex, I wouldn't expect you to know that since you're anything but a scientist.